Thanks for having me. So this story begins, I guess, as a lot of stories about bad decisions do when I was in college. I was going to school in Santa Monica, or I was going to school in the Marina, actually, living in Santa Monica, and I would ride the bus there. And one day I was coming home from school, and I was stopping at the 3rd Street Promenade to change buses to go home, had my headphones on, was waiting for the bus to come, and while I was listening to music, a guy came up to me to try to get my attention, which, this is just like general bus etiquette, general human being etiquette. You shouldn't be able to ride public transportation if you don't know this rule, but if someone's wearing headphones, that's the end of the conversation. Like, there's nothing more violating than wearing headphones and having someone not, like, if I'm wearing headphones and you try to get my attention, the only sentence that I'm gonna accept out of your mouth is dial 911. Like, I think we all know that. But that said, like, I also think that, like, if you take off your headphones when someone's trying to get your attention on the bus, that's also kind of on you, because you know that it's not going anywhere good. So I was listening to music, this guy tries to get my attention, I finally take off my headphones, and he goes, hey, do you know what time it is? Which is like, do not ask me to take off my motherfucking headphones to ask me what time it is, you know, but I tell him, and then I put my music back on. And he goes, hey, I'm so sorry, second question. And I look at him, and again, this was on me, I shouldn't have, but, you know, shame on me for the second time. But I take off my headphone, and he goes, and his delivery was like so impeccable. He just goes, this is a weird question, I know, but are you a model? Which, like, again, I was in college, but like, that's the second most obnoxious thing you can ask someone after, because, like, just, like, have some creativity, you know what I mean? Like, ask me what I'm listening to, at least go that level, like, go, so I roll my eyes, and I'm like, no, and so I put my music back on, and he goes a third time, again, to try to get my attention. So the third time, I take off my headphones, he goes, look, I know it sounded weird when I asked if you were a model, but, like, actually, I wasn't hitting on you. I know it sounds weird, and so I look at, and I'm like, I'm about to put my headphones back on, and he goes, wait, I'm looking to hire someone. I'm looking to hire a model. I'm a sculptor. I know this sounds really weird, but I'm a sculptor. And you have the exact same body type. I make bodies of, and first of all, this isn't how you ever pitch someone to collaborate with you, is by starting a sentence, I make bodies. You know what I mean? But anyway, I make bodies, I sculpt bodies of all different types. And your body type is, I don't have one of you. And so I took that, again, you know, I've been blonde my whole life. I took that as like a legitimate, you know, I'm an artist. I was like, okay, that actually is so specific and weird that would actually explain like why he would need a model. Like maybe it was like so specific. So I was like, so I started listening to him, and I was still being really skeptical. I'm like, I don't know, like this still sounds really sketchy and weird. And he goes, I know. Here's the deal. I need someone of your body type so bad that I'm willing to pay you $700 if it'll take you an hour. All you have to do is come, I'll put you in this plaster thing, I'll take a cast of your body, then you go and that's it, $700. And bear in mind, again, I was in college. Like, I had 3 months prior to this, I had just come off learning that my eggs weren't usable for donation because I had done too many drugs. You know, and like people can sense that on you. So I was like, all right. This guy seriously wants to pay me $700 to show up for something. Like, I'll take advantage of him, sure, you know, but he can still tell that I like didn't really all the way trust him. And he goes, I'll tell you what, right now, I will show you that I have $400 on me right now that you can have if you just like agree to set an appointment with me to come do this plaster thing. And I didn't believe him, and he goes, all right, I'm going to show it to you right now, and we were on like that corner of Santa Monica and 3rd Street, but I'm not going to take out that kind of cash right here. So why don't we go back into this alley and I'll show you the cash that I have. And so again, I was like, even better, like I'll just go let him show me the money, then I'll take the money and then never show up for this modeling job. You know, so I'm like, yeah, sure, all right, sure, show me the cash. And so I walk into an alley trying to take advantage of this guy, get into this dark alley, like just like far enough back away from the main drag where like no one would hear me if I screamed, you know, and he takes the cash out of his wallet. And then like, and again, like this was the same part of my brain that I guess took off my headphones the second time, but it took me that long to realize that maybe following a strange guy into the alley under the promise of being paid money wasn't an amazing idea. And I started to get kind of nervous and sketchy, and I was like, you know what, never mind. And then that just like set off this weird trigger in him where like his eyes got all glazed over and like something shifted in him. And the charm that he had used to get me back into the alley just evaporated completely. And his voice dropped a couple registers, and he was like, like, why are you getting so defiant like this? And I didn't let him stick around long enough for me to answer the question. I just boned out and ran back out to Santa Monica Boulevard. And miraculously, at that exact time, the bus pulled up, and it was like I ran directly from the sidewalk, like onto the bus. And then that's the only time in my entire life that I have boarded an LA city bus in pure glee, like been so ecstatic to board a bus. And he followed me like onto the bus, like into the well of where the stairs were. And I looked at the driver, and it was a girl driver, and I just gave her one of these, and she closed the fucking doors behind me, and I narrowly got onto the bus, rode home, was shaken up, but got over it. 2 weeks later, there had been like a string of killings of women in like the Santa Monica area. And what they had found in common with all of them was that they were all girls who were my exact same age, who had blonde hair and blue eyes, and who were aspiring models and actresses who had been lured to a man's apartment under the promise they were going to be part of an art project. And the description that they gave of that man exactly fit the description of the guy that I followed into an alley that day. So I think, and I called the police and like the LAPD, they never like called me back, but I almost got killed by a serial killer, but I think the important thing is I missed out on $400. You know what I mean? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Scott Schultz.